back to the Literary Apothecary. My name is Kate and I'm here today to give you guys a weekly reading update. We're going to talk about all the books that I've read, currently reading, will be reading next. Today is Saturday, August 23rd. And first we're going to start with the books that I have finished. So we're going to start off with a DNF and get that done and out of the way. I decided to go ahead and DNF Kentucky Dragon by Michael Park. I got to about 54%, which is a little past 100 pages, and this book just kept getting weirder and weirder for me, and I just couldn't handle the level of weirdness in it, and I didn't really like any of the characters, and so I felt like, you know what? I feel like I did this book as good as I can. I'm not getting it. I'm not enjoying it. So let me just leave it here for other readers to enjoy. It was also hard to follow at times, really hard to follow, where I had no idea what was happening to who or when or where, and it was just a really frustrating book to read. The other book that I finished this week, I literally just finished it earlier today before I drove home from work, and so my thoughts are still kind of ruminating about it, so these aren't my complete thoughts, but those you can see in the review that will be linked below, my written review. All my thoughts will be there once I have them formulated. That is The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. This is, of course, a fantasy, horror, science fiction book. This was not an easy book to read, but in a different sense than Kentucky Dragon. This book was, and saying that this was not an easy book to read does not reflect on the quality of the book in this sense. For me, Kentucky Dragon was a hard book to read because of the subpar writing. The writing side wasn't up to my expectations, whereas Library at Mount Char, the writing was there. It was very intentional, and I just had a hard time with it. I enjoyed reading it, but it was not an easy read. It was very challenging to me, but I was intrigued with the characters and the magic, and there were a lot of twists and turns going on here and a lot of reveals, and this was due to the enigmatic writing style that Scott Hawkins has. And like I said, my brain is still formulating all my thoughts on this book, so go check out my written review, which will give you all much clearer, concise thoughts about it. That brings me to what books I am currently reading. These glasses keep sliding down. Wow, okay. That brings me to what I'm currently reading. So some of these books are going to sound familiar to you because I've been reading them for a while because they're big books. A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Diana Gabaldon. This book just keeps getting more brutal as I keep reading. I am at a particularly hard part in this book, which is even harder because it's unexpected, because my brain thought that it came later in the book. So when this moment happened, it was like, oh wow, okay, we are doing that right now. It's happening now. So I am really enjoying A Breath of Snow and Ashes, but this is a brutal book. Along with that book, I am still making my way through Outlandish Companion. I'm enjoying this now that I'm past like the summary parts and the characters. We're getting into some of the actual like reference type of materials here, and I'm enjoying that part of the Outlandish Companion. I'm also still going in with the novella Aftermath by Jim Butcher. This is the last story in the Side Jobs collection, and this one is a doozy. It's a doozy. I haven't really made much progress on it since I last checked in, so that's all I'm going to say here, but I can't wait to continue in this novella and hopefully finish it up this weekend. The last book on my current reads list is At the Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen. Now, I just started this yesterday, so I am very early on in this book. But a couple notes that I have from the last time I talked about this book in my last weekly reading update. I have learned in just the first couple chapters that the characters that I thought were brother and sister are actually husband and wife. So that was a bit of a shock. Somehow I read that description completely wrong there. And they are disgraced and disowned by the husband's father, mostly because he can't be drafted. This is World War II time, and this son, this husband, can't be drafted into the war because he's colorblind. And so he's tried several different groups, battalions, and they all turned him away because of his colorblindness. So those are two things that I've learned so far that kind of clear up a little bit of the description that I talked about last week. This weekend, I'll be starting at least 2 books, depending on the progress of the other books that I'm reading, maybe 3, but let's go with 2 for now. I'll be starting the audiobook for Grits in the Graveyard by L.L. Collins. I can't wait to add another cozy mystery to my list. And Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb. Let's round up this Live Ship Traders trilogy and mark off another trilogy in the Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I am very excited to dive into both of those tonight. Videos that you can expect on my channel this coming week include a dedicated review for In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. Now, I loved this book, but it was not an easy book to read because of the subject material. And so my video review is a little bit on the shorter side for this one, but it's all honest. And if you are interested in this book, you will want to check it out. It's spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about that, but do check it out. And then I'll also have hopefully a spoiler-free video review for The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins, which, as I said, I just finished today. So that is my weekly reading update for you all for this week. Let me know in the comments below what was your favorite reading moment from this past week, and what are you looking forward to reading in this next week. As always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.